All right, so welcome everybody to episode 3 of The Dipping Sauce. I am Jehovah's Thickness. To my... Would this be right or left?
You
To my
haven't that figured
side...
out yet?
Nah, because it's backwards. It doesn't matter. To my side is...
Your mum's backwards.
Oh my god, I'm trying to do intros. Don't make me
Right.
run the intro again.
Start again. Right.
Do me first. Do me first. Do me first.
Don't make me run the intro again. It goes for a minute, guys. All right. So, to my side. Fuck me. Again, this is the second time I've said fuck me. All right.
Do we have time?
Maybe. I'm going to play the intro again. Let's all pretend that never happened. Okay, this time it's the intro. It's going to work. We're all good. We've gotten past the technical difficulties. So, to my side, I have Katie Risha. Below, we have Jared333. And today, we are talking all things social media. So, guys, and I'm talking to Katie and Jared. Am I cutting out at all? Can you hear me? Am I fine?
You're fine.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you are fire. Well done.
Okay, good stuff. Obviously, a little bit of editing we're going to have to do before episode 3 gets onto YouTube. But let's get straight into it. Start talking social media. And I want to talk, obviously, the biggest platform that's out and about today. And that's Facebook. Now, personally for me, I've got a Facebook, but I don't really use it. And I've got my reasons for that. And it's not super political. It's just that people are fucking idiots. But I want to talk to you guys about Facebook. Katie, what are you looking at?
Peen.
My squishy.
Katie.
My answer was better.
Facebook. Do you use it?
Yes. Do I use Facebook? Absolutely not. I think it's the most toxic place. It ain't for me.
You want to know what the most wholesome place is for social media? And you know what? The answer is going to surprise you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave you guys in suspense. I'll tell you after we finish answering this question.
I know what my answer to that would be.
I think we have the same answer.
We probably do, and it is so wholesome.
I want to know.
after the end.
All right.
After the question.
Jared, do you use Facebook?
Yeah, so I have Facebook, but I'm pretty sure my last post or update was like 2019, I think. Was that? I think that's right. And all I did was change my profile picture because the time before that, it was me and my ex.
Yeah, see, I don't really use it. And as much to what Katie said, it's just toxic now. It's so full of opinions stated as fact. And the people on there are just awful. I don't know if people have always been awful, but...
I just need to just butt in. I think what you're saying right now is that's coming from that's showing your age. Is you're saying Facebook is the biggest platform, which is, yeah, maybe for people our age, but I think the biggest platforms at the moment are probably TikTok and Instagram.
Okay.
It's all different things, though. They do different things.
Yeah, but we're talking social media as a whole.
I mean, I came from a generation of MySpace.
MySpace was fucking tits.
Can we just talk about MySpace for a second?
Hell yeah.
Before News Corp bought it and Facebook came out, ranking your friends 1 to 8 and then making them fight over who was number one. That was golden. That was a golden age we lived in. You come on, you listen to my stuff. Oh, by the way, that the voice you can hear in the background is the background music, guys. We figured that out last time. You know, come on, listen to my favorite track of the time. Then you'd, you know, do some poll that I put up and you'd read about my shit, and then you'd be like,
The bulletins? Do you guys remember the bulletins?
It was like your personal blog on your page.
And they were passive aggressive, because if you were fighting with somebody or you wanted somebody to know you thought they were cute, you'd somehow do one of those bulletin quizzes. Do you remember those? And they're like, who's your crush? Yeah. That's all.
It was funny. It was a different world. And then Facebook came along. And I remember when Facebook came along, I'm like, I'm not getting into this shit. What is this, like, one-line post? Where do I put my whole blog about how much I passively aggressively don't like someone that could resemble my best friend?
Where do I fit the HTML? Like, what's going on?
Where do I put my sparkle pictures? I had so much fun with that. And where do I put
sparkle banner?
Yep. And the song I'm listening to right now. How do I rank my friends 1 to 8?
That was always the toughest thing for me. I was always the toughest. Because you didn't want to upset anyone, but obviously someone had to be number one.
Yeah, and if you had a girlfriend, they had to be in the number one spot.
So much drama.
It was good, though.
It was a good time.
So, but I think you're exactly right, Katie. I think Facebook's dying now. It's a platform for Karens. Not to offend anyone, but that's what it is.
That's where it's used. It's used for people to whinge, talk politics, and just carry on like fucking monkeys, really. It's really upsetting. Whereas...
we should have a visual for that.
Whereas you've got Instagram is for your influencers and people who highly edit their pictures to the point that they don't even look normal anymore. Like, it's social media's stupid.
I mean, and we're all in our 30s, so we're obviously not the younger generation that's using all this, but what do you think the top social media platform is right now?
I can't even really speak because I don't really use any social media. I have Instagram for my Twitch and Snapchat, and that's probably about it. I don't use TikTok or anything like that, so I don't feel like I'm in a place to comment.
Well, my commentary on that is that it's all used for different things. Like, Facebook's used for keeping up with... I think it's used for, like, keeping up to date with news and friends and news from friends and stuff like that. So that's why you see a lot of, like, pregnancies and marriages and I just bought a house. TikTok is just for... I feel like it's just for following trends. Like, you know, a dance trend will come up or a song trend will come up. And that... for me personally, like, I feel like that's what's that used for. And then you got Twitter, which is just the same as like the bulletin thing from MySpace. Like, it's all different things.
Well, I mean, I think they're used for more than that though. So let's break it down. Let's look at Twitter. Now, I'm interested in Twitter because it's not something that's widely used, I guess, in our age group in Australia. It's massive in the US though. And Twitter sort of generated hashtags. So, I guess, have you guys had anything to do with Twitter? Do you have a Twitter? I know the Nuggies have a Twitter. I've put one post out. That's it. Because I don't really know how to use it.
Yeah.
Twitter's beyond me. I don't understand Twitter. I don't even understand TikTok. How the hell am I going to understand Twitter?
Jared, you're sort of more up on the social media platforms. Do you have a Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter. It was explained to me the best thing for is to keep up to date with your favorite celebrities.
Why would I care about that?
Well, that's why you don't have a Twitter, isn't it?
So
shut down.
I'm interested. This whole hashtag, hashtag thing, it sort of blows up, and I'm not going to go into any of the ones that have, because the ones I know about are more political, and that's not for this show. But I don't know. What do you think about hashtags? What do you think about this whole, I guess, mob mentality that comes with joining a collective? And when I say mob mentality, I don't mean it as a bad thing at all. It can be used as a very powerful thing, and it's something that we've never had throughout history where people can connect around the world all together for the same cause.
Yes.
I
Wait, was that a question?
I don't know.
It started out as one, and then I sort of trailed off.
You sort of went into a little bit of a ranty rant.
I did. I did. But it's, I guess, what I'm trying to say is these causes can be for good, but they can be for bad, and you don't really know where it's starting. So, okay, if you look at some great causes that have come out of it, and I'm not going to go into details and we're not discussing, but just in my opinion, some really good causes that have come out of it were things like Black Lives Matter, or the Me Too movement is another one that, it started out really supportive, and it's brought people together. But then you look at others that have tried to do the same. Do you guys remember Coney 2012?
Oh, yes. I remember that. That was a weird time.
But it started out right with this online campaign and hashtags and going out and this really worthwhile cause, but then it just fizzled and nothing came from it. And it was probably because didn't the dude go crazy and was masturbating in public or something?
Coney?
No, not Coney. Coney's still got child soldiers, but the guy that was against Coney was jerking his gherkin in like Times Square or something like that.
I don't see a problem with that.
What?
That's illegal.
My input on the whole hashtag movement, things like that, is it is good for setting trends, but I think people really need to remember to do their own research, because something you see on Instagram or something you see under a tag does not necessarily mean it's the truth. So you have to do your own research. You don't just go tagging shit if you don't know what you're tagging about. Don't just jump on the bandwagon and be like, me too, if you don't know what it's about.
Yeah, and Coney was definitely the most obvious incident of that, because I actually know what happened, and the dude was arrested 5 years before that even became a trend. He was already in jail.
Really?
Yeah, so that trend was so late, and all these people were like, oh, we would have helped this poor country, and that the dude was already in prison.
What was he in prison for? Was it the public masturbation?
No, Coney. Wait, was Coney publicly masturbating?
Oh, what? Coney was already in prison?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. This is why I don't get into politics.
Okay, so I'm looking it up now. So basically, Coney was a warlord, and he was like children slaves, all that bad stuff.
He like just move on, keep talking. Go. Yes, children slaves, all that bad stuff.
Yeah, and I think America, or one of the countries, had already had their army in there to take him down, but because people were just hearing about it on social media, and they're like, "Oh, this is such a bad thing," and they started sharing it. Now, obviously, there was, for those that do know about it, that person who started sharing it created a video for it. Everyone thought that video was recent, and so everyone shared it, and it was like a emotional heartstring viral video, and probably the first one that I ever took notice of.
Yeah, well, I mean,
this is what I'm saying about doing your own research.
But that was the thing. There was stickers everywhere. You could order sticker packs. People put stickers all over the city, and they wore shirts. And sorry, I was laughing before because in the chat there was best tag was, I don't know whether you guys saw this, but there was Susan album party. But reading it, depending on your mindset, it also says sus anal bum party.
That's how I read it, and I was like, that can't be right. And it took me so long to sit there and read it and go, what is this tag?
Yeah.
There's an insight to the way my brain works.
I think that was deliberate.
You're right. Well, I mean, smart marketing.
And that's what hashtags come down to. It's marketing.
And, well, I mean, all of it's marketing. Like, if you look at TikTok, right? And so, Katie, if I said to you, what do you think TikTok's about? You watch some TikToks, you've fallen down the TikTok hole where 4 hours later you look up and you're like, oh, I'm thirsty. Where am I?
Why am I naked and sticky?
Did something fun happen?
What's the question?
What's your opinion on TikTok? What do you think TikTok's about?
Killing time for me personally. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever post a
Just
TikTok.
have a guess.
I don't even have an account. So I don't know. What is TikTok about? People trying to be funny, I guess.
Yeah, I'd agree. There's some of that on there. Jared, what do you use TikTok more than the rest of us?
Yeah, so I think now I could be completely wrong here, but this is how I see it. It is a way to reach a very large audience very quickly about certain things. Now that can be for entertainment, that can be for a social message, that could be for because I have boobs. That's probably the biggest one on there, to be honest.
Well, see, I thought that, but when I started a new TikTok account, I got completely different content because it's got the algorithms right. And I think the reason you only see boobs is because they're the videos you watch till the end.
And they're the only ones I like. The algorithm knows me well.
But the other thing about TikTok is it's filled, and we're moving well away from the boob subject now, but it's filled with children. So I think TikTok is one of the biggest ones.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to. We're talking two separate topics now. Moving.
That's not my username in the chat. It's just said TikTok is Vine for children and thirst traps, which I think is pretty fucking accurate.
But the other thing TikTok does is trends, which I actually find really fun. So have you guys?
They are fun.
Have you guys watched trends? Have you like seen TikTok trends and?
I do see TikTok trends, but I also think they can go to a really dark place.
What sort of trends are you looking at?
Yeah, elaborate.
No.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming to the podcast. We're done.
And we're done here. We'll space this out to an hour. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We'll do some creative editing. 35 minutes of J-Rad's boobs at the start.
Well, call me dumb. Like I said, I don't really use TikTok and things like that. But aren't there those trends where there's kids sticking condoms up their noses and things like that? Isn't that a trend?
You convinced me to do that for fun. Is that a trend?
How dumb are children? Jesus.
But that was the thing. And then there was the Kylie Jenner lip challenge that the one that they ate the washing thing.
iPod.
Isn't that a trend?
Yeah, but you're saying those ones and specifically ignoring all the good trends.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying they can go to a dark place, and that is a dark place.
I
didn't say they all go to a dark place. Listen
to
me.
We were talking about that off camera.
What? Oh, you're getting a look from Katie. You were getting a look. That's not me. That's you getting a look.
Yeah, I feel it. In my soul. So just for everyone's information, I have an itchy nose, so that's why I keep touching my nose. No other reasons. Don't follow that up with any questions.
Why? This is meant to be a professional podcast.
Oh. I didn't get the memo.
I'm replacing you. Guys, tune into episode 4 where we replace Ep.3 with somebody else.
We're holding auditions.
Alright, so I don't even know where I was going to go from there. I'm trying to keep this on track.
Oh, it's hard.
It's you don't make it easy.
And you know what? This is the first time I'm not tired, so I actually have the energy to derail this.
Alright. Snapchat. I reckon out of the three of us, Katie, you'd probably use Snapchat more than we do.
I do like me a Snapchat.
What's the appeal of Snapchat?
The appeal of Snapchat? I don't know. I just feel like Snapchat's not forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody's screenshotting or things like that. That's what I like. Like, if you post something to Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, or TikTok, and you go, fuck, I regret that. It's there. There's already people that have done shit with it, and you don't know who's done it. Whereas on Snapchat, you do know. That's why I like Snapchat.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a huge issue, and we're starting to see the effects of it now. People who post shit on the internet, and it comes back to haunt them years and years and years later.
That's a good point.
And it's things that, and look, the things that people are saying probably was never right for them to say when they said it on the internet. But if you look at what was socially accepted at the time, it was socially accepted. Doesn't mean it was right. There were lots of things that have been socially accepted throughout the years that haven't been right. But at the time, they weren't condemned for doing anything wrong. And now that society has changed and they're looking at, what was wrong and what we shouldn't do anymore, we're now sending angry mobs after people that did these things when it was socially acceptable. That's probably the most PC way I can put it. But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the best quote actually comes from what's his name? Will Smith. He's like, I did a lot of dumb shit as a kid. It just didn't get filmed, so I'm okay.
But that's exactly right. This is what scares me so much about this next generation is they're always filming and they don't. I actually don't think they realize that the internet is forever.
No, well, I mean, a great example of that was Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart basically got asked to do the Oscars, and then that invitation got taken back. Because there was a bunch of tweets, and again, this is the whole Twitter thing, but a bunch of tweets from, I think it was 2009, where there was a number of homophobic tweets that he put out. Now, the tweets he put out weren't right. I'm not saying he was right in saying that. I'm not saying it was wrong to take the Oscars off him. But what I am saying is he did that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, society didn't condemn you for that. Not saying it's right that they didn't, but they didn't. And now, 10 years later, because it's on the internet, he's paying the price for it. Now, that I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I'm saying is that's the danger of the internet. If you put out something like now, today, 10 years from now, if that's no longer acceptable, you can get in trouble for it. So I just feel like J-Rad's in a lot of trouble. That's what
I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Imagine these 14, 15-year-old kids these days posting all kinds of inappropriate shit or sending things they probably shouldn't be sending to their friends who then upload it to the internet. They think nothing of it. They're just like, oh, inappropriate TikToks and things like that. 10 years down the track at 25 years old, they're in a well-paying job or something, and for some reason that pops up. There's your adult life down the toilet because you posted something fucking dumb when you were 15 years old.
Well, and I guess it begs the question. I noticed in the chat it's something that I absolutely agree with. So it begs the question: can you make a mistake? Can you turn around and say, as it was said in the chat, you once speaking from an uninformed place? You were talking your mind about something that you didn't understand, and you said the wrong thing. Can you go back and apologize? Because I feel like with today's cancel culture, you can't.
Absolutely, yes, you can. Go back and apologize. Sorry, Dave.
You can apologize, but that doesn't fix the damage.
And this is it. It's where is the line? Is there a line?
I personally feel like we're about to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can move on.
I can think of a few names that I'm not even comfortable like bringing it up because I don't know what'll happen.
Probably best you don't then.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over the news. Like, these people would know them, but I don't want to associate myself with that position.
And look, I think it's all context as well. Like, if you... Okay, let's say you say something as a joke and it's wrong, and you shouldn't have said that as a joke, and you turn around and go, you know what? I fucked up. Should have never said that as a joke. It's not funny and it hurts people, and it was a one-off sort of thing, and it wasn't that bad, whatever you said. Okay, well, if you've learnt from that, I can appreciate that. Doesn't make it right, but... people make mistakes. But if you have, say, systematic, you constantly being racist or sexist or something like that, and then 10 years later you go, oh, I've learnt the error of my ways, It's sort of like, well, no, you're just changing your story now because now you're not allowed to do it.
Can I just butt in really quickly?
Yeah.
No.
All right, so you know how I don't internet? Like, I don't internet. So there'll be, like, memes and things going around and, you know, things people shouldn't post. And then, I don't know how to explain it, but then I'll literally be like, I don't understand why. Because I don't spend my life on the internet. Do you know what I'm saying? So there could be a really pretty picture of something. And I could be like, fuck, I really like this picture. I'm going to post this to social media. Next minute, it's actually a racist image. I wouldn't know. So is it okay to apologize just because I didn't know? Or am I forever dubbed a racist just because I wasn't aware that a symbol from
no, I think
years ago was...
Isn't that how Buddhism started?
No, that's a whole nother podcast topic. But I think, Katie, I think that if you didn't know, then you can't be held accountable for that. So, like, a great example of that, and this is actual social media, there was a TikTok trend that went around. Gen Zs get a little Z tattooed on your wrist. And a lot of people did it because they're like, yeah, I'm Gen Z, I'm the coolest generation, I'm going to go get this Z or Z if you're US tattooed on my wrist, which was actually a Nazi symbol. And they didn't know it was at the time when they were doing it. They thought it was for Gen Z, and there was obviously a very twisted individual that came up with that trend. But I don't think those kids should be, you know, drawn and quartered for getting something tattooed on them when they didn't understand it, when they thought it was something
genius.
else.
He's like a evil genius.
Oh yeah, he's taken out a generation, but yeah, he's some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah,
but that's
right?
the thing, you don't know what you don't know. Should you be condemned for not knowing something?
Well, like, I say tattoo's pretty condemning.
Well, how else? Okay, here's a really good example. I have a tattoo on my body.
Is it a Z?
That I got when I was 19 years old. That I was really passionate about. I'm not going to go into it. If you want to know, contact me after. A few years later, like 5 years later, it then became a racist symbol. Should I be condemned for that? Discuss.
If you keep the tattoo, I think so.
I disagree.
Nobody can see it. No, because I got... I'm getting passionate. I got the tattoo for something else that's absolutely not relevant to the whole thing. It wasn't always a racist symbol. It only became a racist symbol in the years past when I got the tattoo. But it has... I'm really digging myself in a hole. It has special meaning to me.
No, so, okay. No. So, Jared, let me ask you this. So, I know you've got a diamond tattooed on you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's say 10 years from now, the Aryan Brotherhood take up the diamond as their symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you know, that's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
Mate with their women and then take control of the group.
All right, good answer. I think we can move on.
But okay, Matt, that's like we all made a joke about when you got Jehovah. We all made a joke when you got your tattoo.
Fucking doxing me on every
I can't
stream.
help it.
Every stream.
Anyway, moving on.
Hold on. Before we move on, can I just say, like, it seems like the question that is becoming what you know, if it becomes this bad thing later on, where was I going with that? If it becomes a bad thing later on. But no, so that's what started off this whole thing, was saying, like, the whole cancel culture is coming for people that are saying things like several years in the future. So that's exactly what would happen to people that remain with these bad things associated with them, whether you knew about it or not, because that's what cancel culture is doing.
But I mean, and look, I don't want to get into cancel culture on this podcast, but I actually don't agree with cancel culture. And the reason being, I think things that were done in the past were wrong, but erasing them from time doesn't make them right.
But isn't it about the people, not the thing itself? Isn't that what it's about?
Well, for me, it would be more like if we're talking symbols and we have gone way off topic of social media.
I'm talking about cancel culture itself, not what cancel culture is trying to get rid of.
Yeah, but I get so. It's one and the same. How can you say you want to talk about cancel culture but not what it's trying to get rid of?
Because cancel culture is going after the people in their careers, not about changing the symbol itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think cancel culture is about two things. It's about, one, holding people accountable to their actions, which I think people, and, you know, in the chat, the question there, you know, can we be held responsible for the actions we did in the past? I think we should be held responsible. But the level of responsibility held and your reaction to that responsibility and what you're being held responsible for are all varying factors. I don't think there's one rule for one thing. You know, so, like, here's the thing. If I, 10 years ago, was walking around saying, you know, something really inappropriate on multiple platforms, you know, I should be held accountable for that. Now, my reaction to that, if it's genuine and I actually try to make amends and I have learnt from my past mistakes, doesn't mean all's forgiven. But what it does mean is that people can then turn around and go, okay, well, I can see that you've learnt from that. Therefore, we're not going to persecute you as long as you've learnt and you understand, you know?
But, I'm going to sound like a dumbass for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to word it properly because I'm lacking sleep. But basically you're saying anything we say now, anything we could be saying something in this podcast that in 10 years from now could be something that people want to cancel. Do you know what I mean? So and we're forever going to be apologizing for stuff we didn't know, which is, I mean, you don't always know everything at the time. I can't word this correctly.
So I think the best way I can explain this, in my opinion anyway, is to give an example. So let's say 10 years from now, you know, I don't know, we're famous. We've made it. This is awesome. Everybody loves us. That would be brilliant. People stumble across this podcast and maybe I've said something that is completely inappropriate 10 years from now.
How you didn't use me as an example?
Well, I didn't want to because I didn't want to draw attention to you, but we all know it's going to be you. I would expect that what society should do is go, that was, you know, that back then was acceptable. It's not acceptable now. Where is Jehovah's at with that particular issue? So, you know, let's say, for example, you know, I'm not going to give an example because it's going to get way too down this rabbit hole. But, you know, for me, if I turned around and I said, look, you know, at the time we didn't realize that was a problem or that was a bad thing. Here's what I've learned since then, and I definitely don't want to persecute anybody, you know, and I would never say that today. End of story. It's done. It's dusted. If I was to turn around and go, I stick by it, I don't care that it's hurting a group of people, well, then no, cancel me then. But don't retroactively punish me.
We'll proactively punish you.
I'm going to proactively punish you.
I've already got the cancel Jehovah hashtag trending.
Does that make sense, Katie?
Yeah.
It's a very nuanced thing, and I think we're all kind of agreeing in the same thing in different ways.
And I think there's too many variables. I mean, look, if you're looking at not people and you take people out of it and you're looking at just the cancel culture, like, so Dumbo, right? And it's, so if you've seen the old Dumbo cartoon, it's got the crows in it that are quite racist, and they've removed that from the cartoon. I'm going to say something controversial here. I don't think they should have.
Does that make it hurt more by taking it out?
Don't take it out. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't pretend it didn't happen. It did happen, and everyone should understand that came from a time when that was acceptable. We've learnt from them and it's no longer acceptable. Doesn't mean they should be persecuted for it. That was normal at the time, and we've come a long way from there.
It's a part of history, in a way. It just shows how far we've come.
Exactly. I think we move way off this topic because it can get very dangerous very quickly.
And it's almost got nothing to do with our original conversation.
So, moving back onto social media, would you guys consider dating apps a social media?
Yes.
People do, and that makes me a little bit weird about that.
Explain yourself.
Yeah, I will.
Now?
Oh, now. Okay. So I've seen some, as everyone knows, I'm on Tinder at the moment. And I've actually seen a couple of profiles from girls saying, just here to make new friends. And that's actually a pretty common thing. And I'm just like, well, that's not why I'm here. And that's not why that social media, that app was created for a completely different reason. It wasn't made for just making new friends.
So I guess...
Isn't there a part in it for making friends? Or is that a different one? Don't one of the dating sites have, are you here for friends or are you here for, friends?
Which dating apps are you on?
None. That's why I'm asking.
Well, it's not on Tinder, so I don't know which one you're talking about. That's all I can answer. I'm only on Tinder. I'm not on any of the other ones.
I mean, it raises a question, when do social apps bleed into areas that they shouldn't? So is a dating app a social media app? It's like on a very different side of the coin. Twitch is for watching people game or chat, not for watching titties in a hot tub.
Yeah, but they're still chatting, aren't they?
Well, they're chatting on Pornhub.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can chat on Pornhub.
And there's the answer to what I was saying before. That is the most wholesome social application ever.
You ever want to see? You ever want to see some real wholesome content? Go through the comments in Pornhub.
Are you like being funny?
No,
that is 100% serious.
Katie, Google wholesome Pornhub comments.
I'm not going to do it right now.
No, but Google it. It's. Would you consider Pornhub social media?
I wouldn't have.
People
I didn't know you
talking.
could
Well,
communicate.
There is a forum. People talk. People leave comments. Is it social media?
I think in a very bizarre way, it has actually kind of become that.
Well, let me flip
it. If it's a media and it's social, wouldn't that make it social media?
Wait, let me flip it. Would you consider YouTube a social media?
I kind of do.
Because
I don't. Because I don't consider Twitch a social media. I consider Twitch a streaming platform.
Who's to say they can't be interchangeable?
Well, who's to say Instagram's not a dating app?
This is all too confusing for me.
Yeah.
Like you're both right.
I know.
So, all right. So speaking of Instagram, and again, Katie, you're probably the expert in Instagram here.
I wouldn't say that, but continue.
What the fuck is with Instagram? I don't get it. I have one. I never use it. I don't understand it.
I don't know. That's a very vague question.
Well, okay, so I feel like it started out as pictures of your dinner, and now it's influencers. What's an influencer?
An influencer? That's somebody who influences you to buy their shit.
Nobody's influencing me.
Well, are they, though?
I don't know.
Think about it.
What have you bought recently? Think about where the idea to buy that came from.
They're like,
What was the last thing I bought?
This. Thank you, Instagram.
What was that?
On Instagram. I didn't buy it, but here it is.
Your life must be amazing.
It is.
I didn't buy it, but it's here.
I got heaps of shit like that.
But no, Katie made the point there. Whoever decided to get that for her was influenced by someone on Instagram.
Or influenced by Katie. Maybe Katie's an influencer.
Maybe I am and y'all just don't know it.
I have an influence from her that I'm going to shut up now.
Stop it now. Hang on.
Ah.
Just wait.
Hey. So, very good point in the chat. So if, and this is an opinion, if you can interact without being face to face, it's social media. So technically newspapers and radio are social media.
No.
The only reason I disagree with that is because it's the company itself deciding what gets pushed from one person to another.
Well, no,
it's not social because the company themselves are the ones controlling it.
Yeah, it would depend on I get what you're saying. Like if you look at, say any of Fox News or Rupert Murdoch's media versus, say, an independent, uninfluenced media source, they're going to give you two different versions of the same story.
Yeah.
I wonder though.
I have the answer. Because it comes down to who's responsible. So if I say something bad on Facebook, that's on me. But if they say something bad on the radio, that's on the company, not the person. Well, there might be some, problem for the person who said it, but it's actually the company that gets attacked.
I can think of a story that would back that up too.
Go on.
It's really only going to be relevant to the people who live in this area. But the recent thing about an employee of a particular council saying something she probably shouldn't have, and then the whole council was held accountable for the person's actions.
Yeah. And I mean, I suppose it's the same thing if I call in a radio show. And I call in, I'm like, cunt. They need to drop me off the line before that goes to air. Otherwise, they're in trouble. I'm not in trouble.
No, exactly right.
Kind of an asshole, though.
Oh, absolutely, I'm an asshole. It's like why we've got all the banned words when we do our streams with TTS. Because
we're the ones responsible.
We're the ones responsible. That makes sense. So I guess we're going back to influencers, I kind of find that whole concept dangerous.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, no, I agree with that statement entirely.
Like, we have a whole bunch of kids out there that are following people and being influenced by them to, buy things or do things and like mindless robots. I just think that that's dangerous, that people have that sort of power. Am I learning
No,
this?
I 100% agree, but unfortunately that's just the sign of the times. People are easily led. People are easily led by, a pretty face saying like, "Oh, I use this and look at me." That's it.
Which I'm pretty sure, and it was just dropped in the comments now. I'm pretty sure now they have to say it's a paid promotion.
Yeah. Social media recently changed, yeah.
But I guess the way that they get around that is, and I've seen some like Instagram posts where companies will send them free stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this company sent me this free thing. This free thing is amazing," and therefore it's not a paid promotion, even though it is. I don't know. It sort of leads into the like overall topic I wanted to talk about. That's the effects of social media in society and on I guess young people and adults. And like going back to Facebook for a second. I always knew there was idiots in the world, but it seems like now there's a platform that they can congregate together, and that in itself is scary. Like, I guess, what do you guys think? Do you think social media is a good thing or a bad thing?
I think everybody needs to be aware that social media is not the real world. And it's easier said than done. Like, sometimes I'll be scrolling through. I have only my, the social media I use for my Twitch, the Instagram I use for my Twitch, but regular, I guess, social, because that's all filled with, like, gaming stuff and things like that. regular social media, you get women in their bikinis with their beautiful bodies, and even women who are like body positivity, but they're a size of a fucking stick with beautiful skin and all that stuff. And that's not. It's unrealistic beauty standards is my problem with social media.
Well, I mean, there's a whole Reddit thread dedicated to exactly that, Katie. It's called Instagram Reality, where they take a photo that somebody's put on Instagram, they remove all the filters that have been put on, and then they put them side by side. So you've got exactly Instagram and reality, and they're very different. Like, and I agree. I think that's toxic for young people.
I say, not young people. I'm 30 years old, and it's toxic for me. I hate it.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, my teeth are crooked. I'm a piece of shit now because I got crooked teeth, and everybody here's on Instagram with their beautiful veneers. I can't afford that. So does that mean I'm not beautiful? Do you know what I mean? It's sad.
I don't know what to do with my head. I'm agreeing with you, but I don't want to shake my head.
Just stare at the camera like you're agreeing.
Is this an agreeing look?
Yeah, look, it's fine. You look beautiful.
No
filters required.
No filters required, although there are filters on.
But I mean, I guess even further to that, it's an expectation now. So Snapchat, right? Snapchat's got filters all over it. Nobody sends a Snapchat without a cute filter that takes away all your blemishes and makes your face the right shape, and
Yeah, but they're very obvious.
And gives you dog's ears. I like that.
And I think you're pretty well aware on Snapchat.
That's a filter, but my point is people are using them because they don't like the way they look without a filter.
That's because you're used to seeing people with the filters.
This is getting real deep now.
Do you know what I mean? It's awful.
It is awful, but we're not going to offer a solution right here. There
is no solution to it. I mean, it's the world. It is. I mean, and it's been like that forever. Ever since there was any sort of media, TV was the same. TV, they cast the most beautiful girls and they put them all in makeup, and the rugged, manly men, and they don't put average-looking people on television. Just like average-looking people don't become influencers. So I guess what I'm asking is, do we need to be prettier to get famous?
Maybe that's our problem.
Do we just need more dog ears and filters?
But that's what I want to know. Is that I know we're going off topic.
Am I beautiful?
Now you're beautiful.
I know we're going off topic, but I want to know who decides what's beautiful. Back in the days, in high school, having a tiny little booty was it. You had to have a tiny little booty. You had to be stick thin, no curves. Now it's like the bigger the better with that ass. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, fucking damn it. I wish I knew that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's true. If you look at, say, the original hot girls, right, were maybe Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, that stick thin.
Kylie Minogue's ass was like that's what you wanted. You wanted Kylie Minogue's ass.
And her ass looked like my ass, which looks like Hank Hill's ass. There is no ass. Whereas now you've got your Cardi B and I don't know, Katie, you know all the big booty girls. But J-Rad. But and that's a completely different I guess vision of attractive. How do people keep up?
Fake. That's the thing. Cardi B's ass is fake. Like that's a fact. Kylie Jenner, don't fucking lie. We all know. Do you know what I mean? They're fake.
Tag her in this.
Send her the clip. We're calling her out.
She knows.
Well, she can come on the podcast and explain herself.
She can defend herself live on our podcast.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. So people are changing the way their bodies actually look to fit these beauty standards. I don't fucking get it. Nobody looks like that. Like, really, nobody looks like that. But that's what you're seeing on social media is people, sucking in their waists, making their thighs and their ass bigger. I don't get it.
That's why I don't use Instagram, because I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to give myself a big booty.
You can have some of mine.
Can I have some of yours?
Such an innocent request.
Moving right along.
All right, so I can move into the final stage of the podcast, unless there was anything more you guys wanted to talk about on the different social media apps that we've been through today.
Oh, with getting more heated. I think we try and keep this a bit chill, but this is just going loose.
Yeah, and I think the problem is because there's a lot of controversial topics that come out of social media, which is why we wanted to try and, I guess, keep on track. And we haven't really, but that's us. You know us. So let's go into the final bit where I ask you guys a couple of questions, because I like doing that. I liked it in episode 1 and 2. I'm going to do it again in episode 3. So I'm going to start with J-Rad this time.
Yeah.
So, Jared, I want you to tell me, what do you think the absolute best thing that has come out of social media is?
Ooh. For me personally, or like as a society as a whole?
Ooh. Up to you.
You know what? I could probably do both. I think for society as a whole, it definitely has made the ability to become closer to the people that you like, whether that's your celebrity crush or your, an old friend or even a new friend or someone you don't even know yet. Like, through Twitch, I've met all these beautiful people that are chatting right now, and you're all beautiful. No filters. You're all beautiful. For me personally, I think, that flows into that. Like being able to meet all these new cool people that I would have never met before, and I get to get involved with their lives. Like think of, do you guys speak to the stream daddies through any other platform apart from Twitch? I think I know the answer. And that's been absolutely fantastic. We have friends on the other side of the world that we can just go and stop onto our app, just check out their profile and go, oh, hey, look what they're doing today. That's cool.
All right. What do you think the absolute worst thing is?
Yeah, that's an easy one. The toxicity around looks and personalities and like everything becoming fake because now it's just a marketing stunt.
All right, Katie, your turn. What do you think the absolute best thing to come out of social media is?
The ability to keep in contact with people. That's the thing. I got friends all the way around Australia, all around the world, that I can talk to just by sending them a message. Do you know what I mean? That's my favorite thing.
What do you think the absolute worst thing is?
The worst thing? I just think social media is very manipulating. Do you know what I mean? It's easy just to see something and think it's true. Do you know what I mean? If you don't do your own research on it, it could be a very dark place. That's what I worry about. And the fact that it's fucking forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is scary.
Don't send your nudes, kids.
Don't send nudes.
I'm still going to send nudes.
Yeah, we can send nudes.
I live dangerously.
We're adults. We're allowed to do it. So...
we lived through the war. We deserve this.
Hey, we lived through a pandemic, all right? And I'm going to hold that against children forever.
Oh, it's going to get weird when we're like really old and we're talking stories about the time we weren't allowed to leave the house because of a flu.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, so the best thing I think that's come out of social media is the ability, you know what? This is the best and worst thing that's come out of social media. The ability to find like-minded people and share your opinion and share your likes and interests with them. So on the good side, when used for good, platforms like Twitch, as you said, we met the daddies. It's really cool. They stream as well. We've got lots to talk about. You know, platforms like TikTok, you can go in and go, oh, this person does drawing or does music or whatever it may be. I do that too. And you make these new friends from all over the world. And that's really, really cool and really powerful and really helpful, I think, for some kids that might not have a friend in their neighborhood that does the things they're interested in. You know, I think it's really, really powerful. But on the other side, it can be really, really bad because the idiots band together. And something Walker said in the chat there is herd culture. And that's exactly right. So I can post up a fucking photo that says, oh, look at this. COVID vaccine gives you cancer. 5 doctors have agreed, which is absolutely wrong. It's absolutely fake. But by the end of 48 hours, there'll be thousands of people on board who read that as a fact that their doctor told them. And that shit is dangerous.
Can I just add my 2 cents to that little snippet there?
No, you've had your talking.
No, because this is the 3 Inch Nuggies, not the 2 Inch Nuggies plus J-Rad. No, I just want to add that sometimes it's really easy to find an idiot by what they post on social media.
Oh, but not only that, remember you can be whoever you want to be on the internet.
No, I choose to be Batman.
And you can say whatever you want. You can be whoever you want to be.
But idiots can't really hide their idiocy, I believe.
Yeah, the idiots are probably just, that's their personality.
Yeah. That's all I had to say.
It was good. It was good input.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that has been episode 3 of The Dipping Sauce, where we talk all things social media. So this, of course, will be up on YouTube on Friday with a lot of editing to fix up the fuck-ups at the start. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see if we can be bothered or not.
We are who we are.
Yeah,
what do you reckon, guys? Should we leave it?
That makes us as bad as the people on Instagram.
All right.
You know what? She has a valid point. We kind of become a bit hypocritical if we start editing it now.
Well, I just didn't want to waste people's time with our audio issues. But if people want the time,
we are who we are.
Cut that out. You can cut that.
No, we are authentic.
So, guys, down in the corner there, down that way, you can see YouTube, Spotify. You can absolutely listen to us and watch on Friday. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, please jump in and have a look. I will send you the links right now to the YouTube and to the Spotify. We love all of you. This has been Jehovah's Thickness, Katie Risha, and J-Rad33. Say bye, guys.
Bye, love
guys.
you.
Thanks for stopping by. I'm doing an awkward love heart thing.
No, I love it. I love it. I'm going to play the outro. Bye, everyone. Mwah.
Mwah.